because you do not want the VRC to try to convince you that you are no longer eligible simply because you have a job or have a degree, because it's simply not true. Getting ready for your Veterans Readiness and Employment meeting, and let's say you currently have a job or you currently have a degree of some kind. Maybe you have heard through the grapevine or any other kind of vine that it's hard or maybe impossible to get approved if you already have a job or if you already have a degree with Veterans Readiness and Employment. Well, that is just certainly not the truth. Partially true, maybe. But stay tuned. I'll tell you why that's only partially true and why you can get approved too, man. Come on.
Oh, what a stroke of luck.
All right, so if you're new to Veterans Readiness and Employment, if you're just first starting to look into that now, I have a lot of other videos about this on my channel. Go check those out, and some other videos involving flight training. Currently doing that right now, so go check those out too if you need to entertain yourself. In regards to applying for Veterans Readiness and Employment, or I guess more so getting approved for Veterans Readiness and Employment, and in the realms of if you have a job or you currently have a degree and you're trying to get approved for Veterans Readiness and Employment. So it is more difficult to get approved for Veterans Readiness and Employment when you have a job or when you already have a degree, especially if it's a master's, than it would be if you didn't have a job or didn't have a degree. However, it's still very plausible. You're still very likely to get approved as long as you say and do the right things. And a lot of those right things you can find in some of my other videos. So I'm not going to get into that too much today. But all right, so from here we're going to go to the 38 CFR, which is where we can find the regulations and the governing for Veterans Readiness and Employment. And specifically, we're going to go to 38 CFR Part 21. It's going to be titled Veterans Readiness and Employment. And this is going to be 21.5, Determining Employment Handicapped. And this is essentially what needs to be determined. You need to be determined to have an employment handicap in order to be approved for Veterans Readiness and Employment. So I will link this in the description below so you can check it out. It's good to review a lot of what's in this CFR pertaining to Veterans Readiness and Employment, because it's only going to prepare you for your meeting with your VRC, and it's going to make you a little bit more knowledgeable so that you can push back if they feed you any lies. So first, we'll read from Alpha here. It says, vocational impairment. The individual has a vocational impairment that is an impairment of the ability to prepare for, obtain, or keep employment in an occupation consistent with his or her abilities, aptitudes, and interests. So just reading that, it kind of sounds like, well, I already have a job, I already have a degree, so obviously I've overcome that impairment. I was able to obtain it, so I'm freaking screwed. But that's not true. Let's read down here at Bravo. It says, effects of impairment not overcome. The individual has not overcome the effects of the individual's impairment of employability through employment in or qualifying for employment in an occupation consistent with his or her abilities, aptitudes, and interests. This situation includes an individual who qualifies for a suitable job, people who have a degree, but who does not obtain or keep the job for reasons beyond his or her control. What this is essentially saying is that you can have a job, you can have a degree, but if that job is aggravating one of your service-connected disabilities, then that job isn't suitable for you. Same with the degree. If the degree that you have is a degree that will put you in a field that aggravates your service-connected disabilities, then that job is not suitable for you. So what you would need to do is start applying for a job that would be suitable for you and show that you have been applying for that job when you get ready for your VR&E interview. Show that you have been applying for this job that you want, but obviously you're not able to obtain it because you don't have the skills or you don't have the education, and that's why you're at Veterans Readiness and Employment, and that's what you're requesting for them for XYZ so you can get to this ideal job that you want. So it's really all about how you twist it. It doesn't matter that you have a job, that you have a degree. What matters is that that job or that degree is aggravating a service-connected disability that you have, or in the terms of the degree, the job that you're able to get with that degree is going to be aggravating your service-connected disabilities in the future with whatever job you get. And so that degree is not suitable for you anymore because it's only going to lead you down a path that isn't good for you. In no way, because you have a job or have a degree, does that mean that you cannot be approved for Veterans Readiness and Employment. And do not let the Veterans Readiness and Employment counselor try to convince you of that. If they do, you need to have this regulation ready. You need to push back on it and don't let them just run over you. I know this for a fact because I was originally approved for Veterans Readiness and Employment when I had a job and I had a degree. Well, I had an associate's degree and I was about a class away from a bachelor's degree. So if they try to tell you that you cannot be approved because you already have a bachelor's degree or because you already have a job, it's complete bullshit. Do not listen. Have this regulation ready, and I hope that this helps you out and helps you get approved.